Once beaten, British heavyweight contender Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte says the reason the WBC are playing games is because Deontay Wilder is their favorite and he's the longest reigning champion in America. Stay tuned, coming up next.
Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So Dillian, the Body Snatcher Whyte, is claiming that the reason the WBC is playing games and dancing around him becoming the mandatory challenger for the WBC belt is that they're defending and protecting Deontay Wilder, stating that the reason is Deontay Wilder is their favorite. He's the longest reigning champion in America, and they don't want to risk that. He's stating that, he was supposed to be the mandatory challenger. He's been the #1 ranked challenger since 2017. He's stating that he should be the mandatory challenger. Dominic Breazeale has been the mandatory challenger since 2017 himself. Dominic Breazeale fought Molina and eliminated to become the WBC mandatory, and in doing so, right, now Dominic Breazeale put himself in position to be the mandatory challenger and face Deontay Wilder, which he will do May 18th. And with that said, Dillian Whyte is upset, but Dillian Whyte was going to face Dominic Breazeale in an eliminator to become the mandatory, and then Dillian Whyte had the fight pulled out from under him, right? The fight came pulled out from under him due to the fact that Tyson Fury pulled out the fight. Tyson Fury was scheduled to face Deontay Wilder May 18th, with Dillian Whyte set to face Dominic Breazeale sometime in June or July 13th, I believe the date was. Now that Tyson Fury pulled out and reneged, that left Deontay Wilder without an opponent, and he chose to face his mandatory, which was Dominic Breazeale. So Dominic Breazeale got pulled from Dillian Whyte, so now that left Dillian Whyte without an opponent. Dillian Whyte feels like he should be the one that's facing Deontay Wilder. Dillian Whyte had the opportunity to face Deontay Wilder. He had numerous opportunities to put himself in position to face Deontay Wilder, as Deontay Wilder stated that if Dillian Whyte had fought Luis King Kong Ortiz and was victorious in that fight, he would definitely fight him next. No doubt about it, he would promise him a fight and he would give it to him. Deontay Wilder has been a man of his word thus far. So I don't know why Dillian Whyte wouldn't take that opportunity. Dillian Whyte could have fought Luis King Kong Ortiz back in December 22nd when he fought Derek Chisora in the rematch. Instead of facing Derek Chisora, he could have fought Luis King Kong Ortiz. But to Dillian Whyte's defense, it looked like they claimed that Luis Ortiz priced himself out the fight. And it's looking like Luis King Kong Ortiz, it has a history of pricing himself out of fights, right? As we seen with the Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua fight, with they chose to have Luis Ortiz fill in for Jarrell Big Baby Miller, as Jarrell Big Baby Miller failed the VADA drug testing and was pulled out of the fight. He was not allowed to fight. And with that said, Luis King Kong Ortiz could have filled in, but Luis King Kong Ortiz opted to try to play hardball and gain as much money, $10 million, and it backfired on him. And so, when they said that Dillian Whyte facing Ortiz priced himself out the fight, you have to, all you could do is say like, yeah, they're correct, right? You have to go with what they said, because history is showing that Ortiz has a track record of overpricing himself. With that said, anyway, Dillian Whyte could have put himself in better position to face Deontay Wilder, and he chose not to. The WBC were pushing Dillian Whyte to face Ortiz, but like I stated, we don't know what Ortiz chose, what Ortiz's plan was. But with that said, Dillian Whyte is upset that the WBC hadn't mandatory. Dillian Whyte needs to understand the position that he's in. Dominic Breazeale was the mandatory challenger since 2017, just like himself. So with that said, I believe he was the mandatory challenger, from 2017. Might have been 2016. But with that said, so Tyson Fury pulled out and messed up Dillian Whyte's plans. because Dillian Whyte would have faced Dominic Breazeale. If he would have been successful and beat Dominic Breazeale, he would have been the mandatory challenger for the WBC. Deontay Wilder would have faced Tyson Fury, and whomever the winner was, Dillian Whyte would have been the mandatory for that. But seeing as though Tyson Fury pulled out and the chips fell the way they may, Dillian Whyte got left without an opponent, point blank and period. But now he's blaming the WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, claiming that the WBC are protecting Deontay Wilder because he's the longest reigning champion in America, and they don't want to risk that. That is utterly ridiculous in my opinion. I think that Dillian Whyte knows better than that. I think that Dillian Whyte is just sour right now due to the fact that he's not getting his shot at Deontay Wilder. He says that he even turned down the opportunity with Anthony Joshua to put himself in a position to become the mandatory for the WBC. Now, why would you do that? If you get a chance to fight Anthony Joshua, you stand to gain 3 belts, not 1. You could be the unified heavyweight champion if you beat Anthony Joshua in the rematch. So he's stating that he took himself out of the Anthony Joshua fight. He turned down the Anthony Joshua fight in order to become the mandatory, not to. He didn't turn down Anthony Joshua to fight Deontay Wilder. He turned down Anthony Joshua to fight Dominic Breazeale for the mandatory spot in the WBC. Now, how does that make sense? Make sense of that, people. That makes 0 sense. Okay? But with that said, man, that's all I got for y'all, man. Dillian Whyte should have been put himself in a position to face Deontay Wilder. He chose to go other routes. He could have been fought Luis Ortiz. And then again, I don't know, because Luis Ortiz priced himself out. And that's what they claim. We see he priced himself out with Joshua. So maybe he did price himself out with Dillian Whyte, right? But with that said, man, that's all I got for y'all, man. Deontay Wilder also told Dillian Whyte, if you sign with Al Heyman, let Al Heyman be your advisor and your manager, right? Then I will definitely give you a shot. That makes the fight that's just that much more easy to make. And Dillian Whyte opted not to do that either. So that's all I got for y'all. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Dillian Whyte is claiming that the WBC is protecting Deontay Wilder. That's why they're playing games with him, not making him the mandatory challenger. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
The Blue Blood Sport TV, baby, from the Empress. Much love. Mwah.